Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu class. We will recite Mangalacharan. I will share my screen. You can be on mute while you recite along. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, good. We can go to PowerPoint. Okay, you can see the PowerPoint.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we will study Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu by Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada, and given the summary study of which is given in Nectar of Devotion by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So please repeat after me, as many of you as you want, by unmuting yourself. So we will offer our dedication to the Shad Goswamis of Vrindavan. Krishna Kirtana Paro Premamritambo Nidhi
Krishna
Kirtana
Dhira Dhira Jana Priyau Priyakaro Nirmatsarau Pujitau Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhuvi Bhuvo Bhārāvahantarako
Sri Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhava
Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugo Sri Jiva Gopalako
Sanatana Raghugo Jiva Gopalako
Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Samsthapako
Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Samsthapako
लोकानां हितकारिणो त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्याकरो
लोकानां हितकारिण्यो त्रिभुवने मान्यो
शरण्याकरो
राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजना नंदेन मत्तालिको
राधा कृष्ण
जन भजना
नंदेन मत्तालिको
रूप सनातनो रघुयुगो श्रीजीव गोपालको
वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगे युगो श्रीजीवगोपालकौ।
Thank you. Now we will recite the memorization verses. Please repeat after me. Anyabhilashita shunyam
अभिलाषितशून्यम्
anakarmadyanavritam
ज्ञानकर्माद्यनर्पितम्
anukulyena krishnanu
अनुकूलेन कृष्णानो
janam bhaktiruttama
शीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमम्
sarvopadhi vinirmuktam
सर्वोपाधिविमुक्तं
सर्वोपाधिविनिर्मुक्तम्
tattvena nirmalam
तत्परत्वेन
निर्मलम्
ekena rishikesha
केश
sevanam bhaktiruchyate
सेवनं
सेवनं
भक्ति
भक्त्युच्यते
तः श्री कृष्ण नामादि
अथ श्रीकृष्णनामादि
भवेद् ग्राह्यमिन्द्रियैः
न भवेद्ग्राह्यमिन्द्रियैः
उन्मुखे हि जिह्वादो
सेवोन्मुखे हि जिह्वादो
स्वयमेव स्फुरत्यदः
स्वयमेव स्फुरत्यदः
असक्तस्य विषयान्
अनासक्तस्य विषयान्
पार्थमुपयुञ्जतः
उद्धारमुपाचितः
उपयुञ्जतः
सः कृष्णसम्बन्धे
निर्बन्धसम्बन्धे
युक्तं वैराग्यमुच्यते
युक्तं
वैराग्यमुच्यते
Thank you everyone for reciting. Okay. So we will go to today's verse. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, from here we can start. So we are continuing our study of Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu or Nectar of Devotion. So today my goal is to complete till the beginning of Vaidhi Bhakti, the Angas or the limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti. In your books, Nectar of Devotion, this will be till end of chapter 7. So we are almost coming to the half point mark of Nectar of Devotion, almost, little bit less. So there are 19 chapters. So we are going to complete till, no, actually not. We are going to complete up till chapter 6, not chapter 7. So about 1/3 mark. Okay. All right. Anyway, and I will post the homework as well. And for those who are doing Bhakti Shastri, attendance is being taken through the Zoom. Whoever, so please put your real name in the Zoom. I see one phone number. So if you are not a Bhakti Shastri student, that's okay. But if you are, I would like to see the real name. So that's the only way for me to find out later on from the Zoom provides me a list of who all were attending and how much time they attended for. So, I expect all the Bhakti Shastri students to attend for at least 80% of the class, minimum 5-10 minutes if you are late, or if you have to leave little early, that's okay. So those who are not attending, please contact me if you are listening to the recording. So, yeah. All right. So with that disclaimer, so I will be posting the homework, and please work on it. Yeah, keep your homework submissions coming. All right. Having said that, let us resume our study of Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu. So we had covered this last time. Now we are getting into the heart of Vaidhi Bhakti, and that means how to do bhakti. Okay. So in the 53rd verse, Kunti Maharani asks, how can women do bhakti? Sometimes women have some special impediments or hurdles in doing bhakti. They may not be able to go very early in the morning to the temple. Maybe it's dark in the winter time, or they have family duties to take care. Now, these days, most of those distinctions are being blurred. Men and women are doing sort of same kind of activities. But still, so that is what Kunti Maharani asks. And bhakti, as we will see today, is not just for those who are practicing to perfect themselves. Bhakti is lifelong as in eternal. Even after one goes to the spiritual world, still bhakti continues. So in this verse, very, very famous verse, known as the Atmaram verse. This is Canto 1, Chapter 7, 10th verse, where the Shaunaka Rishis ask Suta Goswami, why did Shukadev Goswami hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva? He was a perfected, fully realized soul right from his birth. Still, he sat down and heard full Srimad Bhagavatam from his father, who was a pure devotee, Vyasadeva. He composed the Srimad Bhagavatam and he narrated to his son. So why did he listen to it, even though he was initially running away from his father? So Suta Goswami gives this beautiful verse that Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Pi Urukrame Kurvanti Ahaitukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Guno Harihi. That these guna of Hari, these pastimes, guna means the qualities and pastimes, leelas of Hari are so sweet that people who are Atmaram, which means completely self-satisfied, Nirgrantha, they are not entangled in any material misery. Even still they relish these pastimes of the Lord. So even in the spiritual world, the devotees, narrate the pastimes of the Lord to each other and derive bliss from that. So bhakti, even though we are calling this sadhana bhakti, we are practicing to do bhakti, even in the sadhya stage, bhakti does not stop. So another question is like, how can women do bhakti? How can self-realized souls do bhakti? Even they can do bhakti, that is the point. So all this will be discussed. Okay. So now comes a very beautiful and very important section. Please pay very careful attention. In almost, I would say, 60% of the class, 100% of the class, you have to pay attention. But this portion is very, very sweet and very important. So especially pay attention to this. Okay, gradations of bhakti. So I'm not going to go through the detailed Sanskrit verses because I want to cover a lot of ground today. So we will go through few of them, but I will convey the absolute essence of the meanings of every single verse. Okay. So far, so we did this. Here we will see the gradations of bhakti. There are various grades or levels of bhakti. We will go into that. You will see in a second what it is. So it has been shown through so many examples. I think last class, which was 2 weeks ago, I hope you will still remember the class that we went through so many examples of devotees who do not desire liberation. They say we want bhakti only. Do you remember any examples? Let us see.
Yes,
Dhruv Maharaj.
Dhruva. Yes. Shameshwari Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj.
Gajendra.
Gajendra, very nice. Somebody else? That's all.
Maharaj.
Lord Hanuman.
Both the sons of Kuber.
Prithu Maharaj.
Prithu Maharaj, yes. So many other examples were there.
Hanumanji.
Yes, Hanumanji example was there. And then we read the verses from
And Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj was there, yes, but
Lord Vishnu to Durvasa Muni.
yes, he was saying the exaltedness of the devotees that they don't want. So there was no specific devotee, but Lord Narayan was telling to Durvasa Muni that the devotees reject even liberation. How can I leave my devotee, unattended or unprotected? So, I cannot save you from Sudarshan Chakra. Yeah, so many examples were there. Damodar Ashtakam example was there where Satyavrat Muni was saying, I don't want liberation, I only want to see this form of you. Okay, so all these examples were there. So bhaktas, so many devotees in previous examples said they do not desire liberation. And here liberation meant impersonal Brahman liberation, what is known as Sayujya Mukti. I hope you understand that. Even the newer people, Sayujya Mukti, there are 5 types of liberation. Sayujya Mukti is impersonal Brahman liberation, where you go and stay. You don't merge. You merge into Brahman, but individuality is still maintained. But the important point is that there is no seva of the Lord. There is no service. You maintain your existence through the faculties of the Lord himself. So that is Sayujya Mukti. So these devotees of the Lord do not desire that kind of impersonal liberation because it always comes without the seva component of the Lord. So that is what is said in the 55th verse. Then in the 56th verse, Srila Rupa Goswami goes one step ahead. What he says is that even personal liberation is not desired. Okay, so there is a focus on the word desired for the sake of liberation. Okay, when one rejected Sayujya Mukti for the fact that there is no seva, personal liberation also is rejected if there is no seva, unless such liberation is accompanied by Lord's seva. Okay, so seva is the topmost criteria, not the liberation. So the important point, so there is a slight subtlety here. Please pay attention, like I said. If seva is included, then devotees do not reject personal liberation. Are you following? Like you go in a restaurant, all right? Let us say that you order a thali of, big thali, but what you actually want to eat is, I don't know, I like sambar very much. Sambar and rice. So I will say, as long as rice and sambar is included in the thali, I will have it. Let there be some other items. That's okay. But that one must be there and it should be in good quantity. That should be majority of it. So because I like that. And it's okay if on the side there is some idli and something else. Are you following my point? Then that is the kind, I'm just giving a very kind of a simple example. Then such devotees may accept such personal liberation if seva component is included. It is a component. It is a big part of what they will do in the liberated state. In Samipya, Salokya, Salokya, Samipya, Sarishti, and Sarupya. Okay. So then they accept it. So what it means is that this is known as Prema Seva Uttara versus Sukha Aishwarya Uttara. They do not desire it, liberation, or their desire. Uttara means predominant desire. They do not have a predominant desire for Sukha and Aishwarya. You understand that. They don't want liberation to enjoy happiness or opulence. They want to do seva with love to the Lord. Prema seva, uttara means it's the predominant desire. So that means that component of prem seva need to be the majority or the big component of their liberated state. Are you following? Why am I doing such deep analysis? The reason is the following, that there is a higher level. The higher level is given in the next verse, 57th verse. That there are devotees who are attached to Lord's seva exclusively, and they never accept even personal liberation. Never. In the previous verse, it was said they may accept if there is a seva component. Are you following? The next higher level is those who do not accept it at all. Why? Because in that kind, if I go back to the previous slide, the prema seva is only a component. It may be the biggest component, majority, 50% or more. It could be even 99%. But still there may be 1% of sukha aishwarya desire. Are you following? So that is what was the meaning of 56th verse. That the majority desire is of prema seva. But it did not mean that there was zero desire for sukha aishwarya. The highest or the next higher level is that sukha aishwarya should be zero, literally zero. Or which means prem seva should be 100%. So that is a higher level, isn't it? Would you agree? So that is why 57th verse is that those devotees are considered higher, or that kind of bhakti is considered higher, where the devotee does not want even personal liberation at all, which has even a tinge of sukha aishwarya desire. So because, and I said here in the slide, since there is a slight component of enjoyment included in such personal liberation as well, you cannot completely eliminate it. Because you are liberated, there will be some enjoyment. So the devotees completely reject. Okay, very, very high level of bhakta. Now, all this is kind of very high level, okay? I mean, this is for me, and I would imagine for most, it's purely theoretical, but we will still go through it just to appreciate the various levels of devotees. Okay, now comes another important point. What could be next, higher than that? Now, these devotees have rejected even personal liberation. Impersonal was already rejected. So all five are rejected. All five are rejected. What is higher? Yes?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, gopis, the service attitude of gopis and Vrindavan.
Okay, but they're also doing seva. So why cannot they fit in 57th verse?
I just remembered one point, Prabhuji, when the gopis and Radharani were telling Brahmaji that what kind of eyes you've given us, that we have to blink and in that much time we miss Krishna. So that is why I thought that that their desire is so strong that even for 1 second they don't want like that anything other than Krishna.
Blinking, we can say, is for our, our whatever, hydrating the eyelids or hydrating the eyeball. So we can say it is for our enjoyment. So they want to keep their eyes completely open. Again, we can say that they just want to do seva of the Lord by looking at him all the time. So it can, I am trying to argue, counter your point that it could still fit in 57th. Okay, let us see what Sai Prabhu is trying to say. Seva of Radhika rather than Krishna. Yeah, that is actually a good point, that serving, rather than serving Krishna, one tries to serve the devotees of Krishna. Okay, so that is a very nice point, but let us see what Sri Rupa Goswami says. That's a very nice point indeed. And it will come up later in the Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu in the Raganuga section, where one follows a Ragatmika Bhakta. So that's going to come very much later. So now a very important point will be made. Please pay attention. And soon after, we will give a big disclaimer. So please pay attention at this point. So higher than those who have rejected all 5 types of liberation are those, what's going on? That among such purely motivated devotees, so these are known as, I didn't put a specific term. They are known, I don't know why I did not put it. They are known as ekanti bhakta. Where did I put it? One second, somewhere. Yeah, premaika ekanti bhakta. So these are the ones who are purely motivated. Premaika ekanti, which means only prema, exclusive prema only. There is absolutely no other desire. There's just unmotivated love for the Lord. Okay. So among such devotees, that kind of bhakti or those bhaktas are the best whose hearts have been stolen by Vraja Krishna, Krishna of Vraja. This is very, very important point. And some of the people may feel a little disturbed by this and disturbed by the next point, that such devotees are not attracted even by Lord Narayana or even Dwarka Krishna. Krishna that was present in Dwarka. So the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is divided into 2 major sections. One is known as the Vraj Leela and one is known as the Dwarka Leela. So those devotees who are completely attracted to the Vraj Leela or Vraj Krishna, they are considered to be higher. Not even those who are attracted to Lord Narayana or Dwarka Krishna. Now the question comes, why? Now this is a big question. And it's a very, very troubling question. It's a question that might upset or disturb some devotees. So let us first go through some background. For those that had been part of the Nectar of Instruction or Deshamrit classes, we covered this. So I will cover a summary of that. And we had covered this when we went into the discussion of, anybody remembers? When did we have this discussion? Don't remember?
When we were discussing the hierarchy of
Radharani, the higher
hierarchy of devotees.
Hierarchies, devotees.
Yes. And hierarchy of devotees and hierarchy of, one more hierarchy of.
So Radha
Radha
Kund is
Kund.
higher than even
The height.
Vaikuntha.
Of the holy places.
Holy places.
Yes.
From Mathura,
Vaikuntha Janito Varam.
11th verse.
9th, 10th, and 11th.
11th, yeah.
So that Madhupuri or Mathura is higher than Vaikuntha, and so on. So a very important background is that here we will see a hierarchy of devotees with various desires. As we saw, there could be devotees who desire Sukha Aishwarya Uttara, which means their predominant desire was Sukha Aishwarya. Higher than that is Prema Seva Uttara. Then higher than that is premaika ekanta. And higher than that is premaika ekanta for Vraj Krishna. Okay, Vraj Krishna. So we will see this kind of hierarchy, and especially, the devotees of Narayana versus Krishna. And even those who are attracted to Dwarka Krishna, we will see a hierarchy. This is higher, this is lower. Now, anybody here wants anything lower? If you come to my house and I tell you I will give you second class dinner, not first class dinner, you will immediately not remain my friend. Why would you accept me offering you second class anything, whether it is dinner or a seat or whatever it is? So, we always have this in our heart. I want first class, no second class. So this kind of thing may certainly or will most certainly disturb some of the devotees. So maturity in Krishna Bhakti is very, very important. And otherwise, there could be all kinds of conflicts or misunderstanding and upset and all these things. And please keep in mind that all the devotees of Narayana and Dwarka Krishna are fully eligible to go to the spiritual world. There is nobody stopping anybody. Okay? Only thing is that the destinations are different. Now, what is additionally being said is that this destination is higher than the other. Or these devotees who are, in love with a particular form of the Lord are higher than the other. So, this is the root cause of all conflicts, that my God is better than your God. A lot of blood has been spilt over the centuries and millennia over this one difference, that my God is better than your God, whether it is Allah, whether it is Rama or Krishna or Jesus. And even within Hindus, even, there is a lot of fights between so many other sects. So in our case, what I want to discuss is this big topic of Sampradaya bheda. We are studying a highly Sampradaya specific scripture. Please try to understand very clearly. Śrī Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu, and for that matter, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is a Sampradaya specific scripture. Now, many people may not take Bhagavatam as Sampradaya specific as Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya. This is the Sampradaya I'm talking about, which is coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhagavatam existed before that. Obviously, Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu was written after that by Sri Rupa Goswami, who is a disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu is no doubt a Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya Shastra. But how can you say Srimad Bhagavatam? Because that existed before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, but I am asserting that the principles of Gaudiya Vaishnav Siddhanta are 100% matching Srimad Bhagavatam. Even Bhagavatam, whatever is said here in this 58th verse, that among those purely motivated devotees, those whose hearts have been stolen by Vraja Krishna are the best. That statement can be fully justified through Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, even Srimad Bhagavatam is justifying it, and Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta is 100% the foundational Shastra for Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the cornerstone or the center stone or whatever stone everywhere. It's just Srimad Bhagavatam is the foundation of Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. So, but in any case, everything that we are discussing is specific to Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. There are other commentators from other Sampradayas who have written commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam as well. They may downplay some of the portions of the Bhagavatam and give commentaries and glorify some of the other portions. But if you read the Sanskrit, it is abundantly clear what the assertion by Sri Rupa Goswami is being made. Again, one may say it is a matter of interpretation and so on, but fundamentally the point is this group of devotees that I am talking to, you are all accepting to do Bhakti Shastri or you are studying Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu. So you are implicitly or explicitly accepting to study a Gaudiya Vaishnav Siddhanta. If you do not like it, if you find it disturbing, then you are welcome to drop. But I am just giving a disclaimer. This is what is coming. Okay. So please, with that disclaimer, I hope it was clear to you before joining the course that we are going to be discussing Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. ISKCON is under, established by Srila Prabhupada, who is, such a huge prominent acharya in Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya. So we are studying a Sampradaya specific scripture, and there is going to be differences of opinion across Sampradayas, and it's a very, very common thing to have Sampradaya bheda. So there should not be any surprises. They may also say things which may be offensive or which may be disturbing to a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Okay? So, I know that there are other Sampradayas who do not consider Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be Krishna. They say he was a great saint, but he is not Krishna. So that would go very, very against what Gaudiya Vaishnav Siddhanta is. And that's okay. We are not going to take gun and shoot them or anything like that. We have all the Sampradayas of Hinduism are extremely tolerant, and we will see why. So that is this little speech that I gave in the last few minutes is very important for understanding the next few topics. So it does not mean that other Siddhantas of others, Siddhanta means principles or concepts. So the Siddhantas of other Sampradayas are wrong. Absolutely, that is not the case. There is always going to be difference of opinions. So that is known as Sampradaya bheda, and we accept that. There is no problem with that. But now one may ask, there are always smart aleck people, in any gathering, there are always smart alecks, or what we call as smarty pants. I learned those words. These are the normal modern slangs of children. So there is always going to be a but. Somebody will ask, but only one of them can be right. What if the two Sampradayas are saying completely opposite things? Completely opposite. Then how can you say both are right? Okay. There can only be one. For example, who is the topmost devotee? Somebody may say devotee of Narayana is the topmost. Somebody may say devotee of Vraja Krishna is the topmost. Topmost means one. So how can you have two topmosts? Then you fight and you kill each other. So our Shastras say that by following the principles of one Sampradaya faithfully, this is very important, very, very important point. One is relieved from all the offenses committed from the point of view of any other Sampradaya. Okay? So one must have that faith in mind. I am following my Sampradaya very, very faithfully. And by following this Sampradaya, from the point of view of another one, I am an offender because I am considering someone to be higher, which is an offense as per the other Sampradaya. Then I am relieved of that offense. And so is the other one also, by the way. So you should not, take out your grudge on them for not following your principles or your Siddhanta. So always have full respect for everyone. We discussed this in Nectar of Instruction, having respect for everyone. Okay, so focus on your spiritual life by faithfully SSS. Everybody remembers SSS? Can somebody remind what is SSS?
Steady.
Sincere, steady.
Speak loudly. You need to exuberate confidence when you say. Otherwise, it's like a question. All I heard was steady.
Yeah.
Sincere, steady.
So if you don't know, then it's very hard to even follow if you don't even know. So you need to know it at least to begin to follow it.
Serious, sincere, and steady.
Yes, serious, sincere, and steady. Today we will focus on the steady part a lot. But what does that mean? Sincere means that, or first we'll take it serious. Serious about the goal. The goal should be you're serious about it. I want it. This is very important for my life. That's called serious about the goal. Sincere about the process on a day-to-day basis. Okay, I'm sincerely following. If it is said like this, I am not making my own stuff, okay, out of it. And steady means doing it continuously, no breaking, no, I will only do it on summer vacation and not during the rest of the year. So that is steady. So one must therefore follow the instructions of our Guru Varg. Take one path and stick to it. And the next item is saying, don't spend the rest of your life trying to compare the paths. And then when you are 90 years old, then you will say, aha, after 90 years of my life, I have determined this path is the best. Now I will follow it. And you have 2 years left to follow because, 92, you are gone. So better to select a path in 2 years and spend the next 50 years to follow it rather than the other way around. That spend 50 years to figure out the path and you left with no time to follow it. All right. So don't try to do a PhD on Sampradaya bheda. So one must remember there are multiple paths to spiritual success. Yours is not the only one. So there is no point in breaking your head on it. Just follow sincerely, seriously, and in a steady manner. So with this understanding, let us go back to the original question. That though they are all non-different, we all understand Narayana and Krishna are non-different. Agreed? And even Vraja Krishna and Dwarka Krishna are definitely not different. Even if somebody has a doubt that maybe Narayana and Krishna are different, it's the same Vraja Krishna, and same when he grew older, he went to Dwarka. So they are completely non-different. Then why is the form of Vraj Krishna superior to Narayana or even Dwarka Krishna? Why is it? So that is the point we will discuss for some time. Okay. So the answer is the following. And this is the answer that is revealed in the 59th verse. So far we discussed the 58th verse, that Vraj Krishna, the bhaktas of Vraj Krishna are considered higher. And the reason is because of the specific rasa of the devotee's relationship with the Lord. What does this mean? We will go into it in detail. So what is rasa? What is rasa?
Like Vatsalya, Madhurya.
Okay, those are names of rasas.
So bonding or affection to the God.
Affection, very nice.
Kind of relishment.
Love.
Love, relishment. Okay, they're all nice. So rasa, there is something known as untranslatables. Untranslatable means there is no sort of easy way to translate, because this concept or this whole theme doesn't exist in a specific language. So the closest word that comes is mellow. Somewhere else I saw I didn't understand many years back when I read what is mellow. I was as clueless. What is mellow? Mellow is just another English word, M-E-L-L-O-W. So somewhere else I understood it's a specific mood, like some of the devotees just said, a specific nature or a type of relationship. Okay, so the point is, now we come back to this question. Why is the form, the person is the same? Please be careful. The same exact person, whether Narayana, Dwarka Krishna, Rama, only 2 examples have been given here. But it doesn't mean it's limited to 2. All of the avatars, Ete, Cha, Amsha, Kala, Pumsha, Krishnastu, Bhagavan, Swayam, so all those. And there in the Bhagavatam 3rd chapter, he says, Lord takes infinite, unlimited number of avatars, as many as there are waves in the ocean. Okay. So that many avatars. So all of them are the same exact person. Vamana, Narsingha, Varaha, all Rama, all those are included in that discussion. So the point is that why is the form of Vraj Krishna, according to our Siddhanta, please, I will add that disclaimer again. Okay, so don't be upset. And if you are feeling disturbed, then, you need to reconsider your participation in Gaudiya Vaishnava discussions. Okay, but if you are somewhere in the middle or, having a doubt, then stay on. There is no problem. I will try my best to explain and clarify the doubt. But if you're really feeling disturbed, and I have met such people who are really disturbed by this, then I ask you to consider to see if this is the right forum for you. Okay. So, why is Vraja Krishna superior? And the answer is because of Rasa, because of this Rasa. And Sri Rupa Goswami says, such is the nature of Rasa. That is the nature of Rasa. So the primary distinguishing factor to see which form is higher or sweeter than the other is Rasa. And it is very natural. So I was listening to some other discussions, and I want to give a very mundane example, and this has been given many times in our discussions. But let us say, I'll take an example. No, I'm not gender biased or anything. You can think of like even a woman, but I'll just take example of a man. So a man could be a husband, right? And these are all relationships. Husband of whom? Of a wife, of his wife. At the same time, he is the son of his mother or a father, whatever. He is also a friend of his friend. And he is the master of his loving servitor, not a slave. Okay, so I just added not a servant or a slave. The servant gives today, in modern world, we consider servant like a slave. But a servant, like whenever you think like this kind of a relationship, always think of Hanumanji. Lord Ram never treated Hanumanji as a slave. He kept him higher than himself. Okay, so a loving servitor. So a man has these relationships, isn't it? And it's the same man, same person. Now, the point I'm trying to make is the following. Please pay careful attention. Obviously, the person, the man, has a different form in these various settings, isn't it? With his wife inside the bedroom, he may have a completely different form than, let us say, with his servitor or in the office. At home, he may be moving around in pajamas, but in the office, let us say he is a police officer, a big, strict police officer. I can't think of any movie which has that kind of a role, but anyway, whatever. Then, he's a strict officer, and he is a very different person in the police station. So that part is there, but I am trying to bring out a different angle. A different angle here is the following. Please listen carefully. And here I'm trying to show this is a very mundane example. So please pay attention. It only gives a very generalized understanding. And as you can see here, there are 4 rasas that I'm talking about here. Madhurya is like with the wife. Vatsalya is with his mother. Sakhya is with the friend, and Dasya is with the loving servitor. Right? Okay, so now comes the point. If this man, is interacting with his servitor, can the wife be allowed to be with him at that time? Just generally, don't overthink it, okay? Generally, wife can be there, correct? But is the opposite true?
No.
Maybe sometimes it is true, but not always. Not always. When the man is in the bedroom with the wife, obviously no one else would be allowed, not even the mother or a friend. Isn't it? Now, when this person is with the servitor, can a friend be there, you think? Yes. That much is not hidden from a friend. Let us take between mother and friend. With a mother, the child, the man, the grown-up child may share some very personal things. which he may not want his friend to hear. Okay, now again, these are getting into more complex territories, and today's mundane material world is very twisted. People share more things with friends than with family members, but that is our today's twisted, or what we say, perverted social society. So it's not a good comparison, but I hope you get the point. So the rasas are graded in that order because what the experience between the two individuals can be there increases as the rasa increases. Okay, in dasya it is very limited. In sakhya it increases. The kinds of relationships you can have, the kinds of relationships. In vatsalya it increases even more, and madhurya is the whole entire spectrum. Okay, so that is the point being made. And the point being made is that Krishna, especially Vraja Krishna, he is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. That was the first word of Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu, starts with this, that Krishna is the reservoir of all rasas, especially Vraja Krishna, not even Dwarka Krishna. So what the point being made is that Vraja Krishna is capable of interacting with his devotees in various, not various, 100% possible types of rasas. And if we take rasa as the gradation, the title of the slide is Gradations of Bhakti. So if we take that as the measure of the superiority of a particular form, Vraj Krishna comes at the top. Because Vraj Krishna, he interacted as a husband, or as a, in a madhurya relationship with the gopis. He interacted as a son, of course, with Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, as a friend with so many sakhas, and as there is Raktaka and so on, who used to treat Krishna as their master and always used to go around singing his glories. And you take other forms, and that too, for example, in Madhurya, let us just take that. Now, please try to understand, and don't put today's, now I'm going into a little bit of slippery, or what can I say, controversial or troublesome territory. So I will wrap it up soon without going into the details. If you would like, you can read the commentary by Sri Jiva Goswami on this 59th verse. Detailed, beautiful commentary he has written. So you can, but he has written this topic is for very advanced devotees, for siddhas, he says actually. So I read it, but I don't intend to go into all the details, and I don't claim to even understand it fully. So I'm just sharing with you, however little immature theoretical understanding that I have. So what I was saying is that as Vraj Krishna, he had the Madhurya relationship with the gopis. Now one can say even Dwarka Krishna had Madhurya relationship with the queens. He had how many queens? 16,108 queens. So this is the full spectrum you can see. Now Lord Ram, let's just take, I know there are some very serious Ram bhaktas in this gathering, but still, again, we are discussing Gaudiya Vaishnav Siddhanta. So like Lord Ram, he had taken a vow of Ekapatni Vrata. His father had 3 wives. So it's not like that was the general tradition, but he had taken a vow of 1. So in that form, same person, within Madhurya, and there was definitely Madhurya relationship between Lord Ram and Mother Sita. But when Shurpankha came and said, accept me also, please, he said, sorry, only 1. So he was limited. Even the rishis of Dandakaranya, approached him with that mood, the rishis. So again, we are not talking about any, kind of boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing at all. Even the rishis of Dandakaranya approached. He said, this birth, no, or not in your this birth, in my this form, no. Okay. So that is the point. Another example we can take, Lord Nrsimhadev. Have you heard of any wife of Nrsimhadev? Of course, Mother Lakshmi is the wife, but that is because when she saw and realized that this is none other than Lord Narayana. So we worship Lakshmi Nrsimha, we worship Prahlad Nrsimha, we worship Lakshmi Nrsimha. So definitely Mother Lakshmi is the wife of Lord Nrsimhadev. But we never saw any marriage ceremony happening in Nrsimha Avatar. So the only relationship possible in Nrsimha Avatar is what?
Dasya.
Dasya, yes. And Prahlad Maharaj exemplifies the Dasya Bhav. All right. So you cannot have a Vatsalya with Lord Nrsimha. Lord Nrsimha is not the son of anyone. He'll be a very ferocious child. No mother would want such a child like Nrsimhadev. So you cannot have. So those forms, exact same person, but those forms are limited in the manner of Rasa. But Lord Krishna exhibited relationship with all kinds of devotees in all possible rasas. Okay, so that is the sweetness of Lord Shri Krishna. Now, one point I will just quickly touch is between Dwarka Krishna and Vraja Krishna. What is the difference now? He is the same Krishna. Plus, he had many wives. He had friends in Dwarka and he had friends in Vraja also. Isn't it? Sudama came as a friend, isn't it? When in Dwarka. And when he was in Dwarka, he came to Hastinapur. The Pandavas were his friends, isn't it? At that time, when he visited the Pandavas and helped them in the Mahabharata war, he is Vraj Krishna or Dwarka Krishna? Which one?
Dwarka Krishna.
Dwarka Krishna. So he had friends. He had his mother and father also. Devaki and Vasudev were there in Dwarka with him. So he had Vatsalya and he had Madhurya with 16,000 queens. So one can say there also he was exhibiting. So why is he considered, why is Vraj Krishna higher?
I think because he did most of his leelas at that time.
So let me explain. Okay, don't let me just go through this. This is a very sensitive portion, very delicate portion, and I will quickly go through it. So here the difference is that he had this Madhurya relationship even with the gopis in Vrindavan and who were unmarried to Krishna at that time. So which means, so please understand, when the moment, like for example, Mother Rukmini wrote a letter to Lord Krishna to come take him. Lord Krishna took her. You might see that pastime in Bhagavatam. Immediately, the first thing that happened was their marriage. But in the case of the gopis, they stayed unmarried. There was a marriage ceremony that occurred during the Brahma Vimohan Leela, etc. But anyway, the point is that in Dwarka Krishna, the wives of Krishna had the status of being a formally wedded wife of Sri Krishna. And then they had a Madhurya relationship. Whereas in Vrindavan, that was not the case. The gopis even gave up their honor or their, so to say, the traditional character of a, lady or a, girl to be with in an unmarried form or to that man, to that person. So they gave up even that, which is the highest treasure of a girl. So they are considered the highest. They gave up everything literally to Sri Krishna, for Sri Krishna's, to Sri Krishna. Now, one interesting point somebody can say, in modern world, we see perverted modern world. Oh, people, girls are and boys are going around these days also without marrying. What is the difference? So what is the difference? Is that the highest rasa? Today's,
No.
why?
That is lust and that is love.
Yeah.
What is the difference? Those are two words.
This is material and that is not transcendental.
Yeah.
Lust is for our own senses and love is for Krishna.
Very nice. Lust is for our. So whoever is entering into today's relationship, it is for their own enjoyment. And another important point which is not brought up is that in today's world, when you are going around like that, and so to say, giving up your, treasure for a girl, their character, their honor is their biggest treasure. Not anymore. Ask them if within a boyfriend, girlfriend, do they know their phone password? Their independence and their freedom is higher. Yes, you can, bodily we can be together, but my personal independence is so much higher. How many such people, even married husbands and wives, know the password of each other's phone? How much entry you have into their private mind? Not many. These days, more than the physical, this one, considering that to be the highest treasure, one's personal independence, one's personal freedom, one's personal choices become higher. And that still nobody wants to give. People fight on the smallest of things. Which city to live in? They cannot agree, so they may divorce. Which restaurants do you want to go to? You cannot agree and you separate out. So it's about one's freedom and independence is so much more dear today to people. And whoever completely surrenders, that is called love. Anyway, so in Vraja Krishna, that rasa, that relationship that he had with those devotees is therefore considered the topmost. And Krishna did not say, no, next avatar. He accepted. He didn't say, oh, I have taken vrata, only married. He said, okay, unmarried also okay. With Kubja, for example, also. And so many. So Krishna will accept. And it's not like Krishna is exploiting you. Anything. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. But he was willing to interact with the devotees in various rasas. All possible. Even inimical. And such examples will come. There are 3 primary examples that are discussed. Or 2 that are discussed a lot, which is Putana, who he gave the position of mother in the spiritual world, even though she came to give poison to the babies. Recently, I was reading in the news, there was some nurse in UK who was going and killing babies in the hospital. What a horrible crime. Putana was 100 times more heinous than that. So modern day Putana, like it is considered to be the most horrific crime in the world today. So even to such a person, he gave the position of Dhatri. Dhatri means mother in this spiritual world. Shishupal is another example where Lord Krishna accepted him, gave him Sayujya, he merged into the body of Sri Krishna. So even though he was completely inimical to Sri Krishna. So Krishna therefore is Akhila Rasamrita Murti because he can accept all rasas. And we had discussed this in the beginning of the class. If you remember, there are 12 rasas and there is a specific verse in Srimad Bhagavatam where, when he enters the arena of Kamsa, all the 12 rasas have been described, how the various people are looking at Krishna in various ways. You look up that class, and I don't remember the number of the verse, but it is in the when Krishna enters the arena of the, it is in the 42nd or 43rd chapter of Bhagavatam, 10th canto. Okay, so the point is the following, that I'm just looking at my notes and seeing what anything I missed. So the point is this: if you are attracted to, let us say, being a servitor, if you are attracted to Lord Nrsimhadev, how he protected his devotee, such a sweet pastime, and his form is very ferocious, but for many devotees, it is very attractive, the form of Nrsimhadev. And it inspires awe and reverence, or, what a great Lord, so powerful and so on. The same thing, if you want to see the Lord in that way, you can see that in Krishna. Krishna was also ferocious and powerful. All these big demons, Kamsa and so on, he just finished in no time. Just with a small slap, he finished Kamsa. And or if you want to see like a friend, then you can see Lord Krishna as a friend. There is a nice story I was hearing, like Sakhya as a friend. There was a devotee of Lord Ram. So he was very, so he saw this, the four brothers, they were trying to do a race. Did I tell this story in a previous class? So Lord Ram, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrugna, when they were children, they said, let's race and let's see who can touch the particular whatever wall or whatever point. So race started and none of them started running. They all standing. So they had so much sakhya, means love for each other, that they didn't want to win. They wanted the friend to win. That is one bhav. Okay? That they had so much love for each other that they wanted the other guy to win. And all four were thinking like this. And so nobody even started running. They thought, when the other person runs, then I will start, so that I will lose. Similar pastime that devotee heard about in Lord Krishna, when Krishna was, grazing the cows, and some friend said, let's race. So when the race started, can anybody guess what happened? What might have happened?
Krishna came
It would
last.
have been still.
Everybody
Nobody
ran
started.
and
Not only everybody ran, first thing Lord Krishna did was pushed his friends so that they fall down and he wins. Isn't it? So now, can one imagine how much ever we have read about Lord Ram? Can you see Lord Ram doing that to his brothers? That to win the race, he would push Lakshmana, and so that he falls down? You cannot, that's not there is Sakhya in Ram, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrugna. There is friendship, but different. If Krishna wanted, he could have stopped. That we can imagine, but we imagine something extra. And that is the point, that Lord Krishna is, so whatever, if you are attracted to that form of Lord Ram, you can see that in Krishna. Because Krishna can also do that. I don't know any specific pastime, or like the Sudama pastime, yes. He made Sudama sit on his throne and he was washing his feet. Just like can you imagine Lord Ram doing that to somebody else? That Lord Ram is washing the feet of his friend? Yes, I would imagine that. Lord Ram is. So that Sakhya Bhava, Lord Krishna demonstrated, plus he demonstrated this one. So he demonstrated the whole spectrum of the Sakhya Ras. And so I can give more and more examples, but I hope you are getting the point that Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti, that he is able to demonstrate or interact with his devotees in the widest spectrum of rasas. Widest means 100%. Okay? And that is why it is said. So, but it doesn't mean that one who wants to see Krishna now, a devotee is not able to interact with Krishna in all those rasas. Okay? A devotee may not be able to interact with Krishna in all those rasas. Just like, for example, Sudama cannot interact as a Madhurya with Krishna. Never. So devotee is limited, but Krishna is unlimited. So if a devotee has a particular rasa to the person, a specific form of the Lord, he can see that in Krishna as well. So Krishna Leela is all encompassing. All encompassing. Rama Bhakta, Narsingha Bhakta, Dwarka Krishna Bhakta, everyone can fully see their rasa in Vraja Krishna, or can interact with Krishna. You only see that much. Whatever you like, you see that much. You don't have to interact with Vraja Krishna in all the possible ways. He can, but you don't have to. So I'm trying to say that Vraja Krishna form is should be fully relatable to devotees of all rasas, because in that form he was able to interact with all and every range of rasas. So I hope I have given a brief understanding of what it means and why the form of Sri Krishna is based on the rasa considered to be the best, because he demonstrates, or he is able to relate with his devotees of all different rasas. So I hope that helped to understand the sort of the position of Sri Krishna. Okay. Let us see. Any questions at this point on this topic or so far? Now we will go fast. This was the most tough, or what you can say, crucial thing I wanted to talk. But we will keep going for another 30 minutes or 25 minutes. Please pay attention. Okay, so let us continue. So continuing with gradations of bhakti. Now let us see, what do these devotees want? Looks like these devotees don't want anything. What can they want? They only want to give. They want to only give to Krishna. This is called ahituki apratihata, unmotivated, completely no expectations from Krishna, only give to Krishna. Give your love, give, one directional, no expectations. So what do they want? What do they want? So in this section of Bhakti Rasamṛta-sindhu, or again, there are more details. I'm not going to go into them. So yes, they want something. They do want something. Okay. And the answer is they want the dust of Lord Shri Krishna's lotus feet. That is what they want. Okay. So it's not like they want it. Okay. Like if I don't get the dust, then I'm no longer devotee. That's not the mood. Try to understand the mood. Okay. It's not that they want it or it's a condition. It's no condition, but all they just get pleasure in the dust of Krishna's feet. Okay. And the bliss. And so I have some nice, I was Googling, actually I ended up spending a lot of time trying to hunt for these pictures on Google. So yeah, Sai Prabhu is saying dust sounds better. Okay. But again, the point is not that dust is something to want. It is just showing the mood of the devotee. Okay, so that's all they want. And yeah, so there are, so many marks, beautiful marks. There's a whole, I have a whole like book on that explains these marks. Each mark, significance, everything, detail. I have not read it. Hopefully someday I will have the desire to read it. And you can see here, Lord Krishna is dipping his feet in water. So his dust is mixing in that water, and this cow is trying to drink that water, not because the cow is thirsty, but that way it can get some particles of dust from Sri Krishna's feet. Another nice instance is Akrurji. As soon as he enters Vrindavan, he sees the footprints of Sri Krishna on the ground, on the soil of Vrindavan, and he is like he starts rolling in that soil, the dust of Sri Krishna. And finally, I'm going to show you another picture which may not make sense. It is Kaliya. So that is the third example that is given, like Putna. Okay, so there are such great austerities, and one has to do all these things to get the dust of Sri Krishna's feet on your head. Kaliya got it just like that, just by being offensive to the devotees. He poisoned the whole Yamuna, and so many of his Krishna's friends, they lost their life. Of course, Krishna brought them back to life, but he was so offensive to the devotees. Still, just by the mercy, this shows the merciful nature of Sri Krishna, that he gave the dust of his feet on the head of Kaliya. So very beautiful prayers are there by the Nagapatnis and to Lord Krishna, showing the merciful nature of Krishna. So the question is, what is this, dust? Okay, I can get some dust. If some particles of sand are there in my food, I don't like it. I'm eating some nice food and I get some particle of sand. It's not nice. So what is so nice in this dust? Why is this dust so nice for the devotees? Now, it's not like, the dust is giving them some happiness, but again, try to understand the mood. How can it be explained? Again, now you have to, there is no logical answer. So scientific people may not be able to answer it. So, but what is the bliss that a devotee receives? Anyone?
Is it Pada Dhuli Seva?
But that's Pada Dhuli is another way of saying the same thing. You're just restating it.
I was thinking on the lines of joy of surrendering.
Okay, so some joy.
Yeah, you
Feeling of
surrender.
association.
Association. Okay, so the feeling of association. Okay, all those. So again, I cannot rate your answer that you get, you are 90% close, you are 80% close to the right answer. So I cannot do that because there is, no such scale. But Sri Jiva Goswami writes that there are no words to describe it. That is all that can be said. There are no words. Why there are no words, he also explains. He says that infinite joy or bliss or whatever, infinite, has already been taken up by Brahman realization. One who gets Brahman realization experiences infinite bliss. So what can be higher than infinite bliss? The highest that can be expressed in words has already been taken up. And this bliss is higher than that. So there are no words. I found this very sweet, very, very sweet description by Sri Jiva Goswami. So I just wanted to share it with you. That is the bliss. That is, you can get some idea or some semblance. At least you can get to know what it is not. It is not the bliss which Brahmaji experiences, or or infinite times that which Brahmaji experiences is also less. Are you following? That is the bliss for such devotees to get the dust from Krishna's lotus feet. Okay, so that is the point. Okay, so quick summary we will do of this whole discussion. Just 5 verses, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Very important discussion. Why Vraj Krishna form is considered the highest. So first, Sayujya Mukti was rejected, 55th verse, because there is no Seva component in it. So first, impersonal liberation was rejected. Then personal liberation that had no Seva component was rejected. So there means that some Seva component should be there. There may be other things, but some Seva component must be there. Even that was rejected. Why? Because there may be something else. In addition to Seva component, there may be something else. That is why that is rejected. Then all personal liberation was rejected. Okay. And finally, among these premaika ekanti bhaktas, those who are so why? Because all personal liberation is rejected, because there is that tinge of some sukha aishwarya included. By default, it has to be included. So they say we don't want that. So among such premaika ekanti bhaktas, here I have this word, those that are attracted to Narayana or Dwarka Krishna are rejected. Rejected or not rejected, but at a lower level, which means that the topmost premaika ekanti bhaktas are those whose hearts have been stolen by Vraja Krishna. So this is the summary of what we discussed so far. And the basis of this gradation is Rasa, which we had a brief overview, verbal discussion. I could not put it into slides. It was too hard. So I just made some rough notes and I just shared it verbally, just so that we get some idea. Okay. All right. Now we go into another section of Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu, and that is showing the purity or superiority of bhakti. So 60 to 71. How many verses? 12. So quickly we will go through 12 verses. Very important verses. Please pay very careful attention, but this should be easy. Previous topic was little complex, for me at least, to explain, or even to understand myself and then explain. This one can understand, little bit relatively easy. So let us go through it. Please pay careful attention. Now, before people start dropping out, I'm going to India for, I don't know, 3 weeks, I think. So we will not have a class. So that's why I want to cover till a point, logical point, and do your homework in the meantime and memorize the verses and revise the previous. All the classes have been uploaded finally. Slowly, it took some time. So please, if you have missed any recording or anything, please view it, do the homework, try to internalize all this. We will resume the classes after I come back on, when am I coming back? Yeah, so I'll come back around mid-January, 13th or 14th. So we will have class after that. So you're getting good 1 month break. So please, utilize the time to go deeper into Bhakti-rasāmṛta-sindhu. Okay. And I will be doing all the corrections and all during my travel. So that is my plan. So I will have some travel time, long flight, 20 hours, 24 hours and all that. So that's my idea. Okay. So superiority of bhakti. Okay. So that is the topic, or purity or superiority of bhakti over other processes. And the primary process that is being discussed here is varnāśrama. Varna and ashram. So basically the duties of a human being or of a person. Okay, so one may think this is a very important topic. What should I do? Like, for example, just one example comes to mind. Many ladies in North India do this thing. Kya bolte hain? Karwa Chauth. It's a prayer that they do for the long life of their husband. You can say it is a varnāśrama activity. So like doing these kind of prayers for material benefit. Now, women praying for the long life of their husband is a material thing. It's based on a bodily relationship. Next life, who knows who will be the husband or wife or whatever. So many such things are there, which one there is a thing, should I do, should I not do, what to do. So like that, there can be these doubts. So in this section, what is being established is that if you are doing bhakti to Krishna, just do that. It's not like you have to do bhakti plus everything else that you have been doing. No, then you can give up everything else and just do bhakti. This is similar to the concept we discussed earlier in the Sampradaya bheda. You pick one path and follow it faithfully. Then you don't have to worry about all the other paths. And here, that point is being made. If you are following bhakti sincerely, seriously, and you want to become that kind of ekanti, premaika bhakta, then don't worry about doing all the other things, all the other duties of varnāśrama. Now, it doesn't mean that mothers should not care for their child. Some bodily needs, family needs you have to do. But what is being talked about is all the other Vedic rituals and processes for maintaining a sort of a happy life. You don't need to do. Lord Krishna will take care of it. Lord Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. I will protect my devotee. I will bring to him what he lacks, and I will preserve what he has. So Lord Krishna, leave everything to Krishna. He will provide. Your job is to do serious, triple S. Serious about the goal, sincere about the practice, and steadiness every day. So doing such faithful bhakti is your job. And then you can give up everything else. Everything else can be given up. So many people, sometimes they do Saturday vrat, Monday vrat, this, that, no need to do anything other than Krishna bhakti. So the point is, Krishna bhakti is it. That's it. Forget everything else. If you have extra time and everything, then you can do, okay, fine. If you have extra time, do more Krishna bhakti. Krishna bhakti has so much, I cannot imagine that anybody can say, I'm done, I have had enough. Bhagavatam itself is so huge. Then there are so many commentaries. And then there are so many other, I have in my house like a whole bookshelf, like whole wall. I have not even read 5% of it. I don't think I will be able to read all of it in my life. So there is so much to do, so much. So one cannot say I have done enough. So the point is to just do bhakti. That is the whole section. Now we will see a lot of verses which will go into specific aspects of it. But I have explained you these 12 verses. What is the main point? Okay, so let us see. So first, Sri Rupa Goswami is saying that every human being, nar. So I hope everybody is human being here on the call, and everybody in the future who will hear YouTube is also a human being. Okay, so basically what I'm saying, it is available. A bhakti is for everyone. Everyone. All that you need to be is a human. For what bhakti? Such bhakti. Such means this premaika, ekanti bhakta of Vraja Krishna is available to everyone. Okay. And in the next verse, 62nd verse, Sri Rupa Goswami quotes an example of a place. It is known as Mayura Dhvaja. It's a place, a particular country. He quotes this from Skanda Puran. So I should have mentioned it. So it's a pretty solid reference. It's not just some hearsay. It's from Skanda Puran. That where even outcasts and Shudras, outcast means Chandal, below Shudra, were also given Vaishnava Diksha. So you can imagine it's not by any material qualification, any birth or it's not any of those things. The only thing is you have to be a human being. Okay. Were given Vaishnava Diksha, and they were, it was said that they are, going in around the city or country doing very nice bhakti to Krishna. They were doing all the processes of Vaidhi bhakti to Krishna very nicely. Even the Shudras, and so it is, nobody is excluded. That is the point being made. So everybody is included. So in modern world, you can say all Americans, British, whatever, Africans, Indians, Russians, all those, everybody is included. Chinese. Okay, next. Now, Sri Rupa Goswami says that bhakti is the topmost dharma for those who are exclusively dedicated to Vraja Krishna. That means the ones who are ekanti bhakta or those who aspire to be one. Okay, so if you are dedicated, if you are serious about that goal, this means seriousness about the goal. So if that's what you want to do, follow the path, follow the instructions. Acharyas are giving this instruction. No need to follow 20 processes. Like in Hindi, there is a saying, "Do nao mein pair rakhna," putting your feet in two boats. You can never sail successfully by putting your feet in two boats. You will fall. So better to get firmly situated in one good boat, and then you can sail. So don't try to, follow too many different things. This thing also, that thing also, that thing also. And then the result will be, तो कहते हैं ना, धोबी का कुत्ता ना घर का ना घाट का. You will be neither here nor there. Okay. So the topmost dharma for such people is bhakti. No need to do anything else. There is no offense if such a person, I'm just paraphrasing the Sanskrit verses. If you want, you can go look up. I have put all the verse numbers. So I'm not making up all this language. It is all in the verses from various scriptures that Sri Rupa Goswami is providing, or in some cases, he is creating these verses. There is no offense if such a person does not perform the duties of varnāśrama, like doing karwa chauth, paying, all those things to your forefathers, and all those processes and rituals. No need to do. Just focus on bhakti. And there is no atonement needed either for not following any other duties. So don't have to feel guilty. Oh, I am not following. So I didn't do those, but now I'm doing atonement for it, for not doing it. That is the same thing as good as doing it. On the one hand, you are thinking, I will not do it because it is written by Rupa Goswami. But because I didn't do it, now I am doing atonement. Arey Baba, then you could have as well just done it for that matter. So the point of saying don't need to do those things is also means no need to do any atonement process also, because the Vedic rituals give. If you must do these varnāśrama duties, and if you cannot do, here is the atonement. Both can be completely put on the side. All right. And even if a devotee, bhakta, commits an accidental sinful act, now it may be possible, then also there is no need for any atonement for that. Only bhakti is the atonement. Bhakti is the only atonement. Okay? Like sometimes, it may happen that you go somewhere and in some, friend's place, and by accident you end up eating meat or something that had meat. And you chew it, they told you, or somebody didn't know, or whatever, and whatever it may happen. And then you immediately throw it out, but you feel, I have done, now what to do? Now there are atonement processes given in the Vedas. Vedas also say you shouldn't eat meat, or, you don't eat on these days or whatever. If you do, here is the atonement. But for a bhakta, bhakti is the only atonement. So again, the point comes back. Just do your sincere bhakti. There is nothing else to be done. But you must follow, then it's not like you have given up those procedures. Bhakti also is like, so-so, like, relaxed bhakti. R. I can say relaxed. I need to invent 2 more R's, but whatever. So instead of SSS, you are doing R bhakti. So neither did you do varnāśrama properly, neither you did bhakti properly. Now that's not okay. That's not okay. So you have to do bhakti seriously. So the angas, limbs of bhakti must be followed, especially now Rupa Goswami is going to give 64 limbs of bhakti. 64. There are thousands of them. He says there are so many in Hari Bhakti Vilas, but that's another scripture written by Sri Sanatan Goswami. It has many, but I'm distilling it down to 64 limbs. Within that also, he says just 25 are most important. So we will see that in the next class, what those are. So that's the immediate next section coming up. So one must follow these sincerely. That's why I said first S is serious about the goal. Then sincerity and steadiness. So must follow. So this you must do. And then you can give up everything else. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Not that you gave up that and this both. And then that is like, eat, drink, and be merry. That's where you were, where we all were. Then back to square one. Then there's no point. Okay, then 65th verse. So the only offense, there are no offenses in bhakti. So there is one offense. What do you think is the one offense of bhakti? Based on so much discussion, what do you think is the one offense of bhakti?
Leaving bhakti or not doing bhakti.
Very nice.
Vismriti of bhakti.
Very smart. Yes, thank you. Deviation from bhakti. That is the only offense. Okay, so stay in bhakti, because we said the atonement for anything that wrong you may do accidentally. If you are doing it premeditatedly or purposefully, then anyway it is pretense. Then that is mithyachar. So that is like sense gratification anyway. Accidentally, if it happens, bhakti is the only atonement. So the only real offense to bhakti is to get deviated from bhakti. Or the converse is that steadiness in bhakti is paramount. Okay, so not deviating means what? Steadiness. So steadiness. So that is the third S of SSS. Next verse says that incomplete bhakti is better than completely following varnāśrama. All right, all the duties of varnāśrama. Better to follow bhakti and fail, sincerely you have to follow, and fail in this life, than to do varnāśrama and succeed. Why? Why? Anybody can give answer?
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that in his next life he will continue the bhakti from wherever he has stopped.
Okay, very nice. So incomplete, no, but why it is better?
Because that's spiritual.
It does not have materiality.
Even the varnāśrama that you are doing, whatever good punya karma you are accumulating, also carries with you next life if you do more punya karma.
A material aspect is there in varnāśrama.
Kirtida Mataji, were you trying to say something?
Yes, this one is bhakti is spiritual, whereas following varnāśrama duties is material. So material is always temporary.
Okay, very nice. Anybody else? Shamlila Mataji?
Prabhuji, same. I wanted to say that bhakti is forever, but all of these pious things are temporary. And like in Bhagavatam also, he said, Naraji tells him that there is no loss for someone who does this, because Bhagwan will always like come for his rescue. But on the other hand, if a non-devotee is doing everything else perfectly, then there's no gain in that.
Very nice. Ramakant Prabhu?
Varnāśrama is to attain the liberation up to the level of the liberation of Brahman. That can only be achieved. So the goal of bhakti is different.
Okay. So here when we say varnāśrama does not lead to liberation. Okay. We do say that those are the four purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but you have to go outside of varnāśrama to get moksha. So when we say varnāśrama here, all these processes are processes of regulated activities, dharmic, what is known as. And so let us see what Sai Prabhu is saying. Varnāśrama does not give bhakti, does not give Krishna. Okay, that is also fine, but the refined question is, what is the problem? Why incomplete bhakti is better than successful varnashram. So because bhakti or varnashram will ultimately lead you to Swarga. That is the highest destination. And kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. After you have enjoyed in Swarga, you will come back here. So it's basically you are in a constant loop. You are always stuck in the material world. Even if you do it successfully. By the way, doing it successfully is not easy either. In many cases, doing bhakti is more easier than doing varnashram successfully. If that much dedication and discipline you can put to do varnashram successfully, one has a very high chance of doing bhakti successfully. That is also there, that bhakti is easier. Anyway, varnashram only leads to temporary results, like many devotees said, whereas bhakti leads to permanent result and the highest permanent result as well. So that is the reason. Okay. Then two more verses. Krishna says to Uddhava in the 11th canto. So this 67th verse is the same as this verse from Bhagavatam, that take my full shelter and follow my instructions. Very important. So instructions have to be followed. In bhakti, it's not like, it's not a free for all, open season. Eat, drink, and be merry. That is not bhakti. So following instructions, taking full shelter, and giving up all other, Krishna says, give up all other occupations and duties. This is direct evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam. Another evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam, one who has taken my bhakti with full seriousness. No other obligations exist for anyone, towards anyone, and we feel we have so many obligations. Now look at this list. How many of you are doing things in your life today towards these obligations? Forefathers, demigods, devis and devatas, other living entities, acts of charity and this and that. Now, I'm not saying you should be heartless or have a hard heart. That is not the point. The point is that it is not needed. And even if you do some of these things, do it with the spirit of Krishna Bhakti, what is known as Aropa Siddha Bhakti. Someday we will discuss that in detail. But do it as an act of bhakti. Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi, dadasi yad tapasyashi kaunteya, tad kurushva madarpanam. That is Aropa Siddha Bhakti. That others may also do these things. Okay, but that is not called bhakti. Doing pitradan to forefathers is not an act of bhakti. But if you do it with the mood that may they be inspired to take up bhakti in their life, for that reason I am offering them prasadam, then that becomes Aropa Siddha Bhakti, which means you are dovetailing. Aropa Siddha means to dovetail a regular material action into bhakti is Aropa Siddha Bhakti. On the contrary, there is something known as Swarupa Siddha Bhakti, which by definition is bhakti itself. You don't have to dovetail it. Like Nama Sankirtan. No need to any dovetail anything. It is bhakti. Whether you even do it without any bhakti in your heart, it is less effective, but it is still bhakti. There is no dovetailing needed. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all these are Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. That by definition itself, the activity is bhakti. There is no dovetailing needed. So here what is being said is that no need to do any of these materialistic activities for demigods, other living entities going and doing charitable work outside, sages. Now sages doesn't mean we must serve Vaishnavas. So these are the other sages, other type of sages who are like Jnanis or yogis, not Vaishnava bhaktas. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Humankind, society, Red Cross, this, that, all those things, some earthquake. Now, obviously, one should go and distribute prasadam. With a bhakti, you must do. That's okay. But then the consciousness in the mind should be bhakti. 100% it should be that. There should be zero tinge that I am doing this so that I will get some punya. or some credit, or somebody will give me an award, or my name will come in the newspaper. Nothing like that. Or he will say, good job, pat on my back. So none of those should be the motivation. So one should no need to invest any time or energy in these activities. That is what is being said. Lord Krishna is saying, just do my bhakti. If you are doing anything else, drop it. Like just drop it. Like literally just stop doing it today. Okay, next verse. So what should be this verse? What should be the next logical verse? Come on, guess the next verse.
Solution or
in the same theme.
Superiority of bhakti.
No, you have to say the verse.
Protection from doing wrong things.
Anyone else?
How to be steady?
Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam.
Sarvadharman paritya.
Very nice. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayami.
Mokshayami masucha.
So Rupa Goswami quotes that exact verse. So he's quoting from various scriptures, from Skand Puran, from mostly Bhagavad Puran, then Bhagavad Gita also. So this is the one verse of Bhagavad Gita which fits this. Sarvadharman parityajya. Leave all these other things. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just take my full shelter and I will. And the special thing about this verse is that Krishna promises ma shuchaha, that aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayami. I will take up. Papebhyo means two things. One is past sinful reactions, and one is your propensity, the guna for the tamas and rajasic gunas, which lead you to cause sinful actions. So when the propensity goes away, then the actions will also not happen in the future. So both he takes away. All right. So that verse is quoted by Sri Rupa Goswami. And then he quotes one from Agastya Samhita. I don't know what this scripture is, but that's what it is written. Agastya Samhita. So Agastya Muni must have composed it. So he says, this is towards Lord Shri Ram. Again, same person, okay? Same person. And the topic is different. So it is not about the, Vraja Krishna versus that. But here the point is to do bhakti. And bhakti to Ram is also very, very sweet. So the rules of Vedic rituals, just the English translation, rules of Vedic rituals do not apply to fully surrendered devotees of Lord Shri Ram. So same, he's just quoting various evidences from the Shastra. Then another one last one from Srimad Bhagavatam, there where he says that Krishna protects his devotees, those who have taken full shelter of his lotus feet. Sin cannot touch them, even if they accidentally commit a sinful act. In Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned. Name bhakta pranashyati. Okay. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Also he says that accidentally if one commits apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. So that even if one commits accidental is important. It is not a license. Please keep that in mind, okay? And so therefore, all human beings must, and if you are not yet there, I added the word should. For those who have the faith, the answer is must. For those who have not, don't have full faith yet, then it is more like you should do it. Perform bhakti to Sri Krishna. Okay, so that is the content of today's class. All glories to Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, and all glories to all Janas. Gaur Bhaktavrind ki Jai. Okay, so that was today's class. Now from 72, this was 71, 72, the 64 limbs will start. 64 limbs of Bhakti, Angas. So we will start that. Any comments or questions? Okay, if no more comments, questions, then thank you so much for being here. And we will see you after a break. Gita Jayanti is coming up on Friday? Next Friday.
23rd.
So please read Bhagavad Gita on that day. And in Portland, we are celebrating one of the days, I think Friday or Saturday or Sunday, I don't know. And other places, wherever you are, please celebrate Gita Jayanti and distribute books, distribute Bhagavad Gita. December is book distribution marathon month. Please play your part. Another important thing, we are fundraising for Portland to build new temple in Bethany area. I think you all must be knowing. Please, donate for that with an open heart, and you will have a, a nice big temple. And what else? That's it. So I will see you after I come back. Wish you all Merry Christmas. Jesus Christ is a wonderful devotee of the Lord, and wish you all very happy New Year. And we will see you in few weeks. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Prabhu, would this lecture be also
Hare
uploaded?
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Merry
Krishna
Christmas.
Prabhuji. Have a safe trip.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji, thank you,
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Thank you, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Yesterday I could not attend because I had to go for eye test, and I stopped in the middle and I went, Prabhuji.
Okay, no
I'm
problem.
sorry for my slackening.
No, that's no problem. Yeah, class has been uploaded, so you can decide. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Happy journey, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Which part you are coming, Prabhuji?
In India, Mayapur
Yeah.
and Vrindavan.
Oh,
Calcutta also I will be going. Mayapur we go from Calcutta only.
okay, Prabhuji. Have a safe, happy journey, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
And be back.
Okay, thank you. I will close the call then. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.